Say, kids, what time is it?
Hello, everyone out there in YouTubeville. This is Keith here with some thoughts on, are we seeing the beginning of the end? Are we seeing a tipping point with superheroes and superhero features, TV shows, or are we seeing a tipping point with progressivism or wokeism in our entertainment? It's going to be interesting to see how it bears out over the course of the next year or two, but we're seeing some cracks for sure. And it started this week with Batgirl, the feature, getting shelved, which, you know, for those of you who were around for the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie of the early 1990s know that it's not supposed to see the light of day, but as we know how these things work out, it'll end up on probably on a bootleg somewhere, right? It will end up out there by hook or by crook. But before we get into the content of the video, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Please share the channel out, like, comment, and all that fun stuff. It really does help us grow, and we appreciate each and every one of you who put us over the hump recently. So thank you. So let's get into this. So when Discovery Networks acquired Warner Brothers from AT&T, David Zaslav stated that he'd be making some serious changes, right? And everybody kind of, yeah, okay, but fans of the brands and whatnot held steadfast to, that there weren't any changes needed to be made. But here we go. I mean, he's swinging the sickle. So he canceled Batgirl, and I'm not going to go into this whole article. You can find it on IGN. It was published just today, Thursday, August 4th, or very late last night. Batgirl. This is kind of funny. DC fans have been looking forward to a live-action Batgirl movie starring Leslie Grace as Barbara Gordon. No, can't say we were. For a movie that they claim was somewhere between $70 and $100 million, that is one terrible costume. There are cosplayers that put that to shame. So Batgirl gets whacked, and it won't even be shown on HBO Max. It's gone, and according to all reports, this thing was like basically done. So this is unprecedented. I don't think we've ever seen. I mean, back to the Fantastic Four in the early '90s, that had a budget of about $1 million. It was very low budget. It was produced by Roger Corman to basically hold the license to the Fantastic Four, so he didn't dump a lot of money into it. And Stan Lee made sure that nobody saw that thing. It was even though it's probably the most accurate film to date for the Fantastic Four. Anyway, so the Wonder Twins project is now gone. Thank God for that. I don't know anybody who was excited about that. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom might be going through some serious changes. We know all the trouble that Amber Heard's in. So will they be doing more reshoots? Will they recast Mara? I don't know what's going to happen with that. But now it's pushed back to next year. So much like the original Aquaman film took forever to come out, so will the sequel. Although we do know that per Jason Momoa's Instagram, Ben Affleck as Batman will appear. And that alone might get my business. J.J. Abrams' Justice League Dark Universe. So again, Toby Emmerich, hired J.J. Abrams to kind of take over the DCEU, much to our chagrin. That probably won't happen now either. Please just keep Bad Robot away from this stuff. All these Superman reboots, with ta-Nehisi Coates writing a script for, rumor had it, Michael B. Jordan. Probably not going to happen now. The Green Lantern series, who knows? I think we'd all like a Green Lantern reboot movie, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Then over to the CW. They took an axe to the CW. So Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman were canceled. The Flash is going into its final season, but they're now reporting that there might be a shorter season 9. Just get rid of it. It's done. It's more than done. I actually watched the season 7 premiere episode, and it was so bad. The show was great for about 2 seasons, and then it started to just jump off the cliff. Superman and Lois, however, will be back, and I'm ashamed to admit it because I'm a huge Superman fan, but I have fallen so far behind. I've still only watched the first 5 or 6 episodes of season 1. I have the whole season on Blu-ray sitting on a shelf, still in shrink wrap, because I just don't have time to get to it. And I will buy season 2 as well, because I buy everything Superman on Blu-ray, because when the internet crashes, I can still watch it. And Gotham Knights and Blue Beetle and all this kind of stuff. So, and last but not least, the Flash movie. And the Flash movie, because Ezra Miller, who's been assaulting people all over the place, the guy's clearly in need of severe psychiatric help, is on the run. And they can't find him, and who knows what's going to... On the run is kind of ironic. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? And, maybe they'll just shelve that too, along with the Supergirl project that they were talking about. So, what does this all mean? And David Zaslav, again, promised to come in and kind of reset. He said he's going to reset CNN back to objectivity. And we all know that CNN is a running punchline at this point. He also canceled the Scooby-Doo sequel, the Scoob Halloween. And now we're getting rumors that he's going to get rid of Jason Kilar's model of producing feature films that go straight to HBO Max and straight to streaming. You'll remember, I don't know if you remember, but back in 2020, when Jason Kilar took over at Warner and HBO, he proposed this new model of distribution, saying, basically that the theater model was dead or dying, and it would not recover from the COOF. Decided to go all in on producing high-budget features that would go straight to streaming. This angered people like Christopher Nolan and others, Christopher Nolan being one of the most prominent. And, David Zaslav comes in and says, no more of that. We're going back to the traditional model of producing high-budget features that go to the cinema first and then land on XYZ stream and or optical physical media. So, that said, it looks like HBO Max's days are numbered. I guess Discovery Plus has a lot more subs, and what they're going to do now is take HBO Max and merge it into Discovery Plus. So this article on Variety has some of that, with HBO Max and Discovery Plus expected to merge. Streamers debate scale versus brand identity. And brand identity is a huge thing. This is part of the reason that our beloved franchises are being pummeled into submission and are a shell of their former selves. It's because it's all about brand recognition. And what these people do is they take an established brand and then they put their personal identity politics into it, or they gender and race swap characters to make a statement, and it looks nothing and feels nothing like the fantasy escapism that we once knew. And they do it because it's brand identity. It's instant cash. It's, they don't have to establish anything new. They just take an existing property, they put the sticker on it, Star Wars, Marvel, what have you, and off they go to the races with their nonsense. So this is going to be interesting to watch going forward. Personally, I think HBO has the bigger brand identity than Discovery, and I would flip-flop that and merge Discovery Plus into HBO Max, but I'm not David Zaslav, and nor do I have his bank account. So he seems to have a pretty good idea. He brought Alan Horn back as a consultant. Alan Horn was at Warner Brothers during the Harry Potter days and the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. So I think Alan Horn knows how to maximize profit and still deliver quality entertainment to a fan base. And hopefully, I'm knock on this Formica desk, that's exactly what's going to take place. Now, let's talk divergent roads a little bit before we sign off here. So this is going on at Warner Brothers. And up to this point, if you take a look at the DCEU as a whole, it's been an absolute disaster with no direction and no connecting tissue. Now, we know that Zack Snyder had a plan for it at the very beginning, but then the studio panicked when Batman v Superman kind of, I don't want to say failed, but failed at the box office and tried to reverse course and just kind of copy Marvel. And they tried to ramrod, all these characters into one movie, the Justice League, and introduce them. And they brought in Joss Whedon to kind of marvel it out and make it more folksy or whatnot, and add more humor and color, make it more colorful and fun. And it didn't work. And since then, they've been all over the map with their films. And they've had some good ones. I like Shazam. I thought that was a lot of fun, although the Shazam sequel looks god-awful. So Divergent Roads is where I was going with this thought. And let's talk about Disney and the MCU and where they are. Now, first thing I'd like to say, Zaslav comes in here at Warner and he looks at HBO Max, he looks at Discovery Plus. He's like, why do we have two of these things? Let's make it one. You're going to see that any day now, I think. Rumor has it layoffs are going to start at Warner Brothers as early as today, August 4th. Could be tomorrow, August 5th. And DC Comics, get your resumes ready because when they're done with this stuff, they're coming for you. And please do a house cleaning at DC Comics. Looking at you, Tom Taylor. So right now, Disney has Hulu, they have ESPN Plus, and they have Disney Plus. They have this big mess, right? And they seem to want to keep them all separate. They have the more adult content on Hulu. They have the sports on ESPN. And they got the rest on Disney. And you can find crossovers everywhere. Like you'll find some of the ESPN programming on Hulu and whatnot. But wouldn't it make sense for Disney to do the same kind of consolidation? And right now they don't seem interested in it. But it's a copycat business. And if Zaslav proves that this model works, don't be surprised if Disney takes Hulu, ESPN, and Disney Plus and makes them all one thing. Now, up to Phase 4, the MCU was really tight. We saw it grow from the very first Iron Man movie in 2008, directed by Jon Favreau, all the way through to the Infinity War / Endgame. There was a slow build. There was a percolation. The growing threat of Thanos was underpinning every single movie that came out. And there was all that connective tissue. Phase 4 was an absolute mess. I gave up on it myself. Most of it was not even interesting to me. All the Disney Plus shows were just filler. They seemed to me like movie treatments that were rejected, that they just filled out to provide content for the streaming channel. And a lot of it was just horrible storytelling. And we saw a lot of character deconstruction, particularly with the males. And I believe it's Nerdrotic that pointed out that in Phase 4, they brought in 23 female characters to the 7 or 8 male characters, something like that. It was basically a 3-to-1 ratio. So they went all in on the MCU for Phase 4. And then they go to San Diego Comic-Con and announce Phase 5. And these don't look the least bit interesting. I think we're seeing the tipping point here. I think what we're going to see between Zaslav's cancellation of a lot of the DC properties and these horrible releases. I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Secret Invasion as a Disney Plus show will probably suck. Guardians Volume 3, which will be the end of the team, might be the only one I'll probably pay to see. James Gunn still attached to it. As long as the cast is there for 70% of the movie before they disband. I know Dave Bautista is supposed to die in it. Echo, like, really? I mean, this is a Z-list character in the books, supporting character for Daredevil. Loki Season 2, no thank you. The Marvels, this is going to be an absolute disaster. Blade, a reboot of Blade, which, will suck compared to the Wesley Snipes classic, that in my estimation was probably, people look at the first Spider-Man or the first X-Men as the launching point of this superhero bonanza. I think it was Blade in 1998. Ironheart, please, no, thank you. You're really going to convince me that Riri Williams is superior to Tony Stark? Tony Stark, the character embodied by Robert Downey Jr. that carried the first 3 phases of the MCU? No thanks. Agatha Harkness? Really? Daredevil Born Again, starring Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, but Disney Plus, I guarantee it. I guarantee, put it down on your calendars now, they will ruin this. Captain America New World Order, and if that doesn't speak volumes for where Disney's at in the Klaus Schwab thinking of things, New World Order, they're saying it right there, and then the Thunderbolts, nah. So, look, maybe I'll be wrong, maybe I'll be right, but I do know that everything has a tipping point. And I think David Zaslav has recognized that, and he's trimming all the fat. And he'd rather have quality over quantity, where it looks like Disney is going the opposite way, and they want quantity over quality. And I think we're going to see the superhero films fade into the background for a while. It's happened throughout history. Detective noir, westerns, even sci-fi for a while went away. There's ebbs and flows, and everything's cyclical. So, we'll see in the end, but there's definitely some interesting things taking place, and it started right here with the cancellation of the Batgirl movie, and more to come. So, love to know what you guys think. Are we seeing the beginning of the end, or am I hallucinating? Maybe I'm hallucinating. It is over 100 degrees today. If you like what you saw, please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's fine. You can give us a thumbs down too. And thank you again to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. You all stay cool out there. We will see you soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up below. Also, please subscribe to GeekTime TV. It really helps us grow the channel. And make sure you hit that bell icon in order to receive notifications every time we drop new content here. You can also check us out on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GeekTimeNet. Thanks again for watching. We will see you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?